know what I'm missing overall in your reading of this piece is the intensity when it gets soft, when it gets when we have a long crescendo progression, something that's not virtuosic, where the notes are long. It's both in the second movement and in the first movement. Whenever this is the case, then it sounds a bit empty, if I may say, in the sound. As soon as you go below mezzo forte, you don't have the different shades, mezzo piano, piano, pianissimo, 3Ps, and then close to nothing. We need to be able to have more color there, more intensity, more overtones also in the tone. Because when you tend towards piano, and that's the case in the first movement, and when the phrase is a bit relaxed, the tendency is to really go to a hollow kind of sound. On the attacks, in particular, it's a bit direct with the tonguing. I think there's just too much tongue and not enough airstream getting in motion. Just like the bow of a string instrument. You know, it's easy with a string instrument, you see everything. You see how the bow is coming, how far up, so what kind of speed there is in this dimension and in this dimension also at the same time. And that's what we have to figure out with the flute playing without seeing it. Because right now every single beginning is like this, while every final note is always I hear this on every note. So this is because you're blowing the air away from the instrument. This is why it's making noise and it's not making sound, because you go. So stop blowing the air and you'll stop the noise. Yeah? Clean, nice ending. No need to make it more complicated than it is already by just looking for something that doesn't exist. As long as you don't blow the air on the instrument, it's not going to speak, and it's just going to produce some kind of noise, which is not what you want to do there. And the way you finish the notes should match the way you start the notes. Breathe in the tempo before, in a flexible manner, and then you will explain. It's just like the string player taking the bow before they start playing, and not doing. Yeah, because this is what's happening when we do. Which is yeah, inhaling and then releasing in a far too brutal manner, because it's not a flexible motion. What I do sometimes, in order to find a way of getting in the sound like this gradually, I expel the air through the nose at first. So. It's really not difficult. If the air is in motion already, there's absolutely no danger in starting that Poulenc sonata, for instance, or Prokofiev. We're going to see that later. Very nice. Because the air is in motion already, so it's really a very soft beginning. So the idea is to blow the air through the nose, and then connect to the mouth. To keep the intensity in the tone, I think what you have to think is also to still go on sending the air all the way up so that it goes through your nose. Like you're in the beginning, just always think that you're sending the air up there. This is going to open up the upper part of the throat, and it's going to open a whole lot of resonance possibilities in your head, just like singers are using them to project the voice, and the tone is going to be richer. Because otherwise you're going to instead of the same amount of air, but I'm just either closing or opening. And same thing, just like the voice is resonating or not. Like this or like this. Same thing happens with the sound on the instrument. Always think you're sending the air all the way up to a certain point here between I call it the wasabi point, because when you eat too much wasabi, that's where it's burning. So it's a very, very easy for anybody, even vegetarians. There's cucumber sushi rolls with wasabi, this kind of thing, avocado rolls, whatever. But yeah, eat try eating too much wasabi at once, and you'll know where to project the air, where to focus the air. You know, this is a way to play in tune. Surprisingly, intonation is not going to be an issue, because we always think, oh, this flute is out of tune, I don't like the scale or whatever. It's the flute players playing out of tune. It's not the flute that is in tune or out of tune. It's always a compromise, but all the instruments are really well made nowadays, and either we play them in tune or we don't play in tune. When we think here, to send the air through this point, whether it's big or small, so forte, piano, or whichever kind of expression or color, it's always going to be in tune. If we send the air, if we support the air all the way through up here and then let it flow down on the head joint without putting anything in the way, then it's really going to be in tune on every single note, whether you play really loud or really softly. And that's the great advantage, side effect of this wasabi technique. Can we try maybe the bar with the trills just before that? Sure. 55. Tight on the lips, and you know, thinking about that is going to take your attention away from the lips. And in many places we think, okay, there's an intonation problem. We try to control things with the lips, and that's not. The lips are really just not producing anything. They're just doing fine. They're making sure that we're not putting the air anywhere else than here. That's all. But don't use them to control something like intonation.